Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today I'm at Volvo Cars of Shreveport. We're going to take a look at the 2023 Volvo XC90. This is the B5 model we're going to be looking at. And we're going to try and answer the question, is it the best three-row luxury SUV to buy? For 2023, there are a couple of changes to tell you about. The T5 and the T6 engines have been replaced by the B5 and B6 mild hybrid engines. And the Google-based infotainment system is now going to be standard across all trim levels. And if you're looking for a luxury SUV that has an elegant interior and exterior styling, precise handling, a spacious second and even third row, and it's available as an e-plug-in hybrid and provides strong acceleration on that trim level in addition to the strong fuel economy, this may very well be the model for you. Let's dive in and take a look at exactly what you get. Taking a look here at the front end, if you like chrome, you're going to like this model. It's not an overload, but it's the right balance. You've got the classic look of the Volvo grille, really a signature look for Volvo with that Volvo logo right there in the middle. And then we've got the LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights, and I've got those blinkers turned on. Hey, that's why you want to use your blinkers. See how nice those look? They look really nice. Use your blinkers when you're driving down the road. That's one way to show off your vehicle. And if you can tell me, what does the headlight design look like? There is something very specific that people refer to. The first person to get that question right wins a Vehicle Visionary t-shirt. Leave your comments. And something that you might not think about that gives the Volvo XC90 a nice appearance, the way the hood is designed. If you look at the way things come up off of the fender right here, you're going to have a little bit of a rise right there. It's going to continue on, and this line on the hood before the widest area that is not completely flat, it has a little bit of contour to it working its way down towards the nose, and then obviously the same thing over on the driver's side, but just a nice overall look. And yes, there are turn signal indicators built into those power folding, power adjustable side view mirrors.
And we talked about the design of the hood. Let's talk about what's under the hood. It's the 2-liter turbocharged direct injection 4-cylinder. It makes 247 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And MPGs come in at 22 city, 28 highway, 25 combined, and according to Volvo, you should use 4 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Not too bad. And if you're wondering, the gas tank size is 18.8 gallons.
The tire size at all 4 corners is 235/55, surrounding a 19-inch wheel. And the good news here with that 55 series sidewall, which is right here in case you didn't know, that helps improve ride quality. The lower the sidewall size or the lower profile tire you have, the less absorption power it has for soaking up bumps when driving down the road. And here is the remote. You're going to have all of the buttons on the side for lock, unlock, everything you would expect to see there, instead of being on the wider portion of the key, or I should say remote. We don't have keys anymore, do we? Well, on some vehicles, but not here. And one of my absolute favorite features here of these XC90s is the unique design of the rear taillights. Something that again is pure Volvo and gives it a nice elegant look. There's your XC90 logo. As you can see, obviously this is the B5 model. Now let's take a look at something back here that is very important. You have a hands-free rear tailgate, or rear lift gate, I should say. It's not really a tailgate, right? Kind of like it's not a key, it's a remote. It's not a tailgate. But here are the handy-dandy instructions for those who may struggle a little bit, but it's super easy. I just do it this way, just wave my foot right underneath there, and it's super simple to gain access into the rear cargo area. And obviously there is a lot back here, a lot of space. The cargo cover is installed. I'm not going to move that today, but you can lower these rear seats and the middle row seats to maximize cargo capacity, which these are the numbers for cargo capacity and towing. Cargo capacity comes in between 12.57 cubic feet up to as much as 65.5 cubic feet with those seats lowered down, and you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with one of these XC90s when properly equipped. You do get a nice first aid kit right there, as you can see, a little cover back here to help keep the carpet from getting dirty if necessary, depending on what you're hauling. And you have a spare tire, as you can see a small portion of underneath the tools to change that tire. And in case you're wondering about a panoramic sunroof, yes, there is a panoramic sunroof here. Right here, all you're going to do is just basically do that, and it opens the shade and reveals the sunroof itself. And if it gets too warm in here, obviously you can close that back up by just reversing that process that I just did, and the shade will then come forward. And by the way, that area does open up. The front portion does slide open if you wish to do that. And a quick look here at the door panel in the rear seating area. As you can see, it does have some nice materials here. Everything very nice, pretty soft here on the soft touch materials. They literally are soft touch. And there is the door bin. Probably a little more space there than it appears to be based on the fact that, well, it's just hard to tell because it's dark in there. And let's hop into the back seat. So I'm going to show you in real time how this works. You can push that all the way up. And look at how far that goes. It goes way up. So I am going to hop in here, and I apologize that the shot is not the best, but it is what it is. Now, you can see that it is a little bit of a tight fit back here. These seats can be made to move forward a little bit and increase space back here. Probably better suited for the kids. There is seating for two back here, and everybody does have their own air conditioning vent, so that is a plus. We'll swing around and take a look at this side, and depending on the trim level that you have, you will find more accessories back here. And then it's just as easy as pushing there and just moving that up and getting back out. And just taking a look here at the rear seating area, we'll close the door. Obviously, middle seat passengers will have more space. You've got they're not really map pockets, they're more of a net material, but they are there. Here are the controls for the air conditioning in the rear seating area, and there are heated seats for the rear seat passengers, at least with the outboard seats. But here's something that's an advantage. You not only have the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in, but right here, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, had to edit that just a little bit, but you have a pass-through right here. So if you wanted to fold those rear seats flat to maximize that first section of rear cargo area, and you needed a pass-through, as you can see, you have one. Okay, just want to let you hear what it sounds like when you get into this XC90, at least the B5. And as you can see, a very nice looking and modern instrument cluster. Looks really nice at night, easy to use. And if you want to, as you can also see, you can bring up navigation right there on the instrument cluster. There is the turn signal that you push into the up position when you're turning to the right or changing lanes to the right. And the same thing to the left into the down position, so you can let people around you know what you're doing and be a nice driver. And you're going to find your steering wheel mounted controls here. Can't say anything sarcastic about those because people use them, unlike their blinkers. And there's the control for the windshield wipers and the rear window wiper. And here's something that a lot of people will often say they don't like, the infotainment screen. But now that you have Google Assistant, it's easier to use than ever before. So here's an example. Hey Google, how far can I drive?
You can drive for about 599 miles with the remaining gas.
Or if you're having a bad day, hey Google, tell me a joke.
What do you call a belt made of watches? A waste of time.
Yep, there you go. If you don't laugh at that, you're really having a bad day because it's so corny. And so you can also use Google to help you out with directions. So you don't have to go into Google Maps and do everything manually. And that's nice. So you can actually just use voice recognition for all of that, as well as many other features. And we'll take a look at the rear view camera, as you can see right there. And depending on the model of Volvo XC90 that you have, you'll have multiple camera views, but obviously you do have your trajectory lines. And yes, I am turning the steering wheel. I'll give you kind of a real world look there so you can see everything happening at the same, or in real time, I should say. Obviously, you have your heated seats, heated only. So here in Northwest Louisiana, well, we don't necessarily need that. You also have the heated steering wheel. We don't really need that today, but we're going to in a couple of days when the low is actually in the 30s overnight, which I know for some of you are saying, that's our high. Okay, I know. And here are some of the other controls: hazard lights, controls for controlling the radio, the volume, and the stations you're listening to. There is your shifter, pretty easy to figure out. You've already seen the knob, we'll call that, to be able to start and stop the engine, your 12-volt power outlet right there. And then you also have, let's move right in here, going to have some space within the center console. One thing that is definitely important is ride quality. Why don't we hop out on the road and see what the drive is like in this 2023 XC90. And one more thing before we hop out on the road, speaking of driving, let me just show you real quick. Here's how you get to your drive mode. You're going to see driving right here. That's how you're going to do it. So you've got all your different vehicle settings right here, depending on what you want to do. Pilot assist. You can see everything that's there, your safety features, all that good stuff. Just in case you were wondering, because it used to be that you could scroll through your driving modes right down here with the scroll wheel, but obviously that has changed. All right, we're going to get out for our test drive, and you do have a fully adjustable tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Here it is manually adjustable, in case you were wondering about that. So we're going to cruise down the road here and just give you a quick little demonstration of the test drive. A good handling vehicle, especially being all-wheel drive. If you live in an area where it snows a lot, all-wheel drive is most certainly what you need. That will more than take care of you. You probably already know that, but it's a lot better than having front-wheel drive, that's for sure. And what about ride quality? This road that we're driving on may not look like it's that bad. It may look pretty smooth, but it's not. It gives us a good idea of what we're dealing with here. These XC90s do have a nice, comfortable ride quality, at least on the road surfaces I've driven them on. Here in Northwest Louisiana, we have some of the worst roads in the country. Maybe not the worst, but some of the worst. And so this is one of the reasons why I like to say, it's one thing to learn about these vehicles in these videos like this, where I show you the details, give you the information, but until you put your butt in the seat and hands on the steering wheel, well, the test drive isn't going to quite be the same thing. I can give you my experience, but keep in mind it's based on my driving background. And with my driving background, it's a little different than a lot of people out there, but I still try and give you the best feedback possible. The handling is good here, as you would expect with an all-wheel drive vehicle. The steering wheel is nice and responsive. It is a leather-wrapped steering wheel, so comfortable, and everything's easy to get to. I do tend to sit a little bit closer than some people might to the steering wheel of these vehicles. Again, that goes back to my racing background. I'm kind of used to that in a dragster that I drive, a rear engine dragster. Any race car in the sport of drag racing pretty much is going to have that situation. So, but I do like the fact that you don't have to worry about adjusting everything by hand anymore. One thing it would be nice to see Volvo do is give the option to drivers to have just manual controls down here, physical controls for the air conditioning. Although with Google Assistant, it's obviously a lot easier to adjust the air conditioner than it's ever been in the past. And we'll get out on the road. So with 247 horsepower, I'm going to ease into the gas just a little bit here. Not going to go too terribly fast, but actually the acceleration is surprisingly good. 247 horsepower, your torque numbers coming in at 258. You might think, well, that's underwhelming and underpowered, isn't it? Well, number one, it depends on what you're used to. Number two, it depends on your situation and where you drive. For some people, it's going to be far more than enough. And I realize in this day and age, a lot of vehicles do come with far more horsepower, but just based on my little acceleration test back there, I didn't get maybe to quarter throttle, so a quarter of the way down, and absolutely no problem. I'm still a little bit above the speed limit as it is. But I will say this, it is so nice to not have to look over here to my right to the infotainment screen when it comes to using navigation. I have the navigation right here on the instrument cluster. I'm going to be looking down there regularly anyway to see what my speed is. It just works that way. And let's see here, give you an idea. I have my arm down on the armrest that doubles as the lid for the center console. For me personally, that could stand to be a little bit higher, but you know, for another person, they might say, oh, it's in the perfect place for me. It doesn't matter. So that's why you really need to get out and test drive these vehicles. But overall, I have to say the XC90 is a joy to drive. Obviously, this isn't the highest trim level. You have the pure electric version. You have the plug-in hybrid. If you want some horsepower, it is available. That plug-in hybrid makes 402 horsepower. So if you're looking for a little extra power, it's definitely available for you, depending on your needs, your desires, and what trim level you may wish to purchase. So tell me down in the comments, is the 2023 Volvo XC90 the best 3-row luxury SUV? Tell me what your answer is, and tell me why you answered the way that you did. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Volvo Cars of Shreveport for loaning me this XC90 for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you want to learn about other vehicles that you may potentially purchase, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.